So the name was inspired by my maternal great-grandaunt, who was a paramount chief from Blama Massaquoi. And, you know, it's a ruling house. And of course, we had the Massaquoi crown. And she met the Queen of England in 1961. Well, the late Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, wearing her crown. And of course, Queen Elizabeth had her own crown. So it was one royalty meeting another royalty. So I remember when I started my brand 13 years ago, the country cloth wasn't very popular. And, you know, we only produced like darker colors. And I remember saying to my weaver, who was based in Kenema, I'm like, I want color. I want bust-off colors, because West African women love brighter colors. And I remember we did a show in Nigeria at the time called Arise Fashion Week, which was actually where I got my big break. And I remember showcasing Gawa as well as country cloth. And especially with country cloth colors that I worked with, that was the first time that people had seen a hand-woven cloth from Sierra Leone on an international stage. And it was well received. Like there was that huge demand for country cloth at that time when I started, yeah. Nowadays, of course, there's this big trend with Gawa. And I think in terms of like how we play with the colors, how we play with the patterns, you know, we've been having a lot of requests of people saying, no, you know, I really like this particular Gawa design. And so, of course, when there's a demand, of course, there should be supply. We have the women who are part of our Madam Wokie skills training program. I give them the designs that I want. I tell them the type of colors that I want them to, that I want them to use on a particular fabric. We have the fabric made. Of course, I supervise everything. Once the fabric is made, we come up with like different designs based on people's mood. We've trained 280 women in different life skills to be ready for the workforce. My target goal is to be able to train 1,000 women, you know, before the end of next year. That is my target. And I'm working towards that. We've been able to like engage with the right type of partners who believe in our message and who want to work with us. So that is something that I'm very excited about.
So what you see is a rise in designers, young designers, emerging designers actually valuing what we have in terms of fabrics. And a lot of them are working now with tie-dye, or gara as we call it, gara, batik. So there's a rise in terms of our local fabric and the use of it. In terms of the manufacturing industry in Sierra Leone, especially in terms of the fabric industry, there are lots of opportunities. When we open this space where we are, the factory that we're sitting here now is a space that can employ up to 120 people. Our workforce is mainly youth and women. And we had about 120 people. We were at full capacity then. If we take, for example, what we do, we work with a cooperative of women in Makeni and in Freetown. But we also buy from different parts of the country. We buy from women who are making tie-dye in different parts of the country. And then we bring those pieces into the factory space, and we provide jobs for these people that are sitting here, that you see busy here. And the finished products are made here. So everything you see in the factory is made here in this workspace, and then we take that to the showroom. And by doing that, we support hundreds of women and families, because when you employ one person, you probably have that one person is taking care of 10, 15 people. So in terms of the fashion industry, the fabric industry, the manufacturing industry, if we can pay a little bit more attention to it, you can see how much benefit it would have in general, as communities, but also economically. For me, I think the beauty we have about Sierra Leone is that our culture is very rich, and we can use our fabrics to tell our history, to talk about our culture. And what we do here at IZELIA is mixing, working with like indigenous So the indigenous pattern, the very rich culture that we have, we bring the indigenous with the modern, combine that, and tell stories about Sierra Leone.
I want to design things that are made in Sierra Leone. So with the Country Club, I believe is one of the ways we can really showcase Sierra Leone. I've done wedding dresses in Country Club, and I've actually, because of my need to want to design textile, Gara, we all do Gara. But how can I do Gara with a different cloth that is actually made in Sierra Leone rather than buying a cloth from China and tie-dyeing it? Country cloth is basically raw cotton woven together. For Paramount Chiefs, the #1 clothing that made them prominent is still that was Country cloth. And it was prominently male Paramount Chiefs that were wearing it. And then it was used for hammocks because they were very strong. So it will really be very good, durable to hold for hammocks. From that point, we started going to blankets. Blankets are very good, or throws, very good. But I'm still happy with the fact that the cloth itself is made here from very, very hardworking indigenous women, mostly women that really work hard in creating this cloth. So for me, it's a pleasure to use it to create beautiful colors, to do tie-dye with it, because tie-dye is one of our, really, really one of the best ways we also do textile designs in Sierra Leone. So to put the two together, I think it's just wonderful. So I truly enjoy doing this.
There has been a lot of improvement in the fashion industry. During the time that I started, there were not much like the fashion aspect of it. It was just like traditional tailoring, people doing it as ways of survival. But for now, it has evolved over the years and it's now very, very rapidly growing. We're seeing a lot of fashion designers in Sierra Leone, a lot of people like coming into the industry and a lot of interest. And now it's a very lucrative side of like the businesses that are going on in Sierra Leone. You see a lot of young tailors, young designers. I have a team of 15 members. Not all of them are tailors. There are some that are operating in the administrative aspect of the business and some that are like support staff. They have not been fully skilled, but the main thing is I train them. I think we have up to 9 traditional tailors who are behind the machines. And we have support staff, like people doing the ironing, the people purchasing the fabrics, and some of us are cutting the fabrics. So it's a team composed of 15 young people right now. I sell to like middle and high income earners, and I reach my client through social media and like person-to-person marketing. Since I've been operating for a long time now in the fashion industry, I have a lot of customers that can recommend other clients to me, wherein I use that way to reach out to people. For now, as you can see, my workspace is already filled up, so I'm looking to build like a proper production facility for fashion designers with using the most advanced machines that are available around the world. And I think in a few years to come, Sierra Leone will be one of like the main production hubs for textile and sewing in the sub-region. I think there is a great future in Sierra Leone. What will be happening is that in Sierra Leone, in a few years to come, will be like a production hub. According to what I'm observing now, what's happening, young people training, we investing in advanced machinery, a lot of interest, exposure, and connection to fashion designers out of Sierra Leone.